Happy time zone, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. Welcome back to Zelda Speedruns. Great to have you with us this wonderful Wednesday. Today we've got a double bill of Zelda 2 Randomizer action for you with two matches from the Swiss Round 2 match of the Zelda 2 Randomizer Standard Tournament 2022. That is way too many twos, but we will live and we'll learn. Up first, we have a 0-1 matchup in the Swiss Round 2 matchup between Nimanva and Pickles&Beer. This is going to be an interesting match. Looking forward to it. On track and series tonight, we have Warlock 2019. And without further ado, I will leave you in the capable hands for commentator Mirai.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this late afternoon, early evening, if you're in the United States, matchup between Nimanva and Pickles&Beer. This is going to be an 0-1 matchup from last week. I forget who Nimanva went up against, but I know Pickles&Beer went up against Trails, and Trails being one of the best runners of Z2R currently. Pickles&Beer also being a newer runner. Well, that's the way that played out. But so tonight's matchup should be fairly matched up, I would say. Both of these runners, I don't want to specifically put them in any category because I'm not entirely familiar with them. I know Nimanva does Z1R. I don't know where Pickles&Beer comes from other than the grocery store. That's a bad joke. But they should be matched up, and we'll be getting going here shortly. We're just waiting for both the runners to ready up. We've got hashes, matching hashes, I believe. Yes, we do. We will be going shortly here. But we do have a double header. We do have another race after this between Elendar and Animus, and we're going to flow right into that whenever these two runners are done. So if you're interested in that, please stick around. Or if you're watching this later down the line in a already post recorded VOD or video on YouTube, then that'll be the next race after this one. Alan Heffley in chat here to be the referee in the background. Make sure everything's kosher. Nimanva also questioning whether he wants to go through with readying up or not. Oh, Z2R is not that bad. Not that bad. Unfortunately, though, we don't have a lot of options to fully refine the difficulty of the game. And so sometimes Z2R can really spit out, the randomizer can really spit out some tougher seeds. And so we'll have to see what this is going to be tonight. Our countdown has begun, and so we'll see them start off here shortly in a few seconds on the stream, as we do have that short delay. As opposed to the easy seeds, Melee Wizard, the more simpler seeds. We have a 10-minute and 20-second countdown here. There we go. We'll see them shortly here again. We're just a little bit behind. Can't wait to see what type of biomes we have. That's another thing. We have a modified flag set to give the candle for these runners. But other than that, they're going to subject themselves to potentially vanilla continents, which we do see on both of our runners' side. We have what seems to be an absolute straight vanilla west at this point in time. If this is Magic Container Cave, we can expect that is true. It's highly unlikely that both North Palace and Magic Container Cave have rolled and been shuffled into the vanilla positions. Unfortunately, speaking of those tougher seeds right off the bat, we do have a red Dyra greeting us in Magic Container Cave. Pickles&Beer are going to take that on. Nimanva saying, nah, let's go check the other surrounding areas. We've got Raru to the east. That's going to be a free spell for our runners if they want it. Or Nimanva coming back into the cave here. Maybe took that early death, said, no, let's try this again. There's Pickles&Beer with his first death. We also have Trophy Cave straight north of Start, straight north of North Palace. That's going to be another free item. Probably less red Dyras in there. No guarantee of that, though. But we also have Rudo northwest, which is going to require the trophy. Not sure if we're going to have access to that just yet. Both of these runners questioning whether they should have not readied up or not. Oh boy. Well, Pickles&Beer with the game over there. He's out. He's going to head in a different direction. Again, we have Raru. Could be the shield spell. We'll find out shortly. The attack 1 on this red Dyra is going to be a little rough. We didn't get a spell town or a town sign check there. So we don't know exactly what's in Raru here, but we'll find out. It's a free spell. It doesn't have to be, just because we have a vanilla continent doesn't mean that we're going to have vanilla spells. We may not, but that's one thing that is guaranteed to be shuffled among our towns. Fairy Town here in Raru, so that's fairy for free. That is going to be a guarantee. There's 3 guarantees to get out of this North Palace starting area on the Vanilla West. That's going to be the hammer, the fairy spell, or the jump spell. Those 3 are going to be required. One of those 3 are going to be required. So Raru giving us the fairy spell, and we may end up having to grind for some magic levels because I didn't see what the cost was. We'll see that on Nimanva's side if we missed it on Pickles and Beer's side. We also have the grass tile down south on the southern side of the Parappa Desert here, and the cost is 99 at Magic 1. So definitely going to need some magic levels, and again, maybe another life and attack level to help get through that magic container cave with the red Dyra. Did we see a hint for Boots in 5? I would have missed that. That's a good hint to, well, yeah, that is a good hint to know. That means that 5 won't be blocked by water or anything like that. So I'm trying to catch up on chat here. A bunch of things happening here. Yes, 1 hint per town. So once you get that hint, you can just simply ignore the rest of the NPCs. We are jumping into a palace right away. We do have the fairy spell, but again, it's uncastable. So if we run into any doors without a key, we'll just simply be blocked. We might find Horsehead completely free and open, but the bosses in this flag set are not guaranteed to drop a key. So if we do kill Horsehead early on, and he does not drop a key, we will still also be stuck. Oh, this is, I'm sorry, we're in Palace 5. Not Palace 1. As Nimanva showed us, they're attacking the statue, and Pickles and Beer getting the small item, but then taking the death. Unfortunately, not breaking out those crumble bridge pieces in a favorable manner. We're going to see what's on our grass tile first on Nimanva's side. This encounter, unfortunately, the randomizer tends to roll with 2 generators, and that's going to, in this case, it's going to be our standard boulders that we have flying across, rocks as we have flying across the screen, as well as the birds, which are incredibly annoying, especially at attack 1. Most of our generators are going to take 2 hits at attack 1 until we reach attack 2. And if attack 2 is really bad, we'll see the same thing. But by attack 3, you're pretty much guaranteed to one-shot these things. Yeah, the statue in P5 and P1 have nothing in there, but as far as I see, we have smooth pillars there on Pickles and Beer's side, so that is going to be our 2 or 5 pillar, and with no jar, that's going to mean 5. I didn't see if the cost came down from for Fairy and Magic 2. Still no levels on Nimanva's side. We got a Dyra here in the swamp. Could be worth a good chunk of change. It's a little tough to do the crouching. Oh, he's only worth 30. It's a little difficult to do that crouching strat, getting in on them, the swamp being something that will slow you down. Slow you down as you attempt to get closer to the Dyra. That's going to be 1, 2, 3 for levels on Pickles' side. I'm not sure a good way to say the name. Pickles and Beer is a mouthful, no pun intended, and Pickles is a bad possessive. Pickle Sand, yes, Pickle Sand Beer. We're still cruising through the palace though. Nim still with an uncastable fairy. Don't know what it comes down to if it came down at all on Magic 2. We may have a glove locked room right here on P and B side. We're feeling this out in real time. I believe Elendar and I did the Trails and P and B race, so should have figured it out then, but I don't have a good answer. If there's something related to Pickles or Beer or P&B, we know who we're talking about here. So this is that P bag that Pickles and Beer got. $100 there. That's going to give him the magic level if Nim wants it. He does want it. Still don't know what fairy's at. I keep missing. Whenever they open, they're... Oh, it is. Okay, it looks like it's 50, if I'm not mistaken. Trying to get a real fast read on that. 60. Okay, 60 at level. Fairy cost 60 at level, magic level 2. Perfect. That is castable. 1 cast per life. There it is. We see it again on Pickles' side. Gets through the door. And I'll be honest. Well, here's the item. Here's the item. He's going to have to take a death. This is good news. And if this is the boots, this will help. Perhaps later down the line, it's not going to help on our Vanilla West. Vanilla maps do tend to, or they not tend to, they do retain their original property. So there's no water that's walkable on the Vanilla West continent. That's going to be attack 2 for Pickles as well. 2, 2, 3, going to have to push through there. There's our boots for in P5, so that's good. I don't know if the boss's boots locked. I don't know if we've seen every branch at this point, but we did see the one, did I say boots locked? I meant glove locked. We did see the one glove lock room on Pickles' side, so I don't know if there's any other branching paths. The direction he's headed now, unfortunately, is a dead end. Could be a key, though, something that you may want to keep in your pocket for later. Could also be a P bag. He also is only 2 experience away from a level as Nim goes high, grabs the key. There is a key at the dead end here on Pickles' side as well. These jumps back are a little bit tricky. They're the nice 3-tile high jumps, but Pickles handles it like a champ. Can be a little trickier if you've got different generators in this room. And he's up and hang, and he's out of here. He's going to check the grass tile as well. And then he'll likely be headed back into that magic container cave or potentially the trophy cave as well. Both of those, again, free and open caves that we have on the Vanilla West here. Saves the drop into the water with the fairy cast. Very nice. Link, unfortunately, cannot swim in this version of the game. In water or lava. Life level for Nim, 2, 3, 3. 1 up for Pickles. I forgot what was there. I knew it wasn't anything too important, but I did forget what was there. So I think we're matched up on levels 2, 3, 3 across the board on both of our runners. We are. Nim using the key to get through this door. Not sure if we saw this on Pickles' side. I think we did. I think to the right here is going to be our glove block. He's going to see if we get anything good out of the drippers. We know that it's just going to be a tin suit. Unfortunately, it's difficult to get anything out of the drippers in a room like this with the MOA. When the MOAs are present in this room, they drop their MOA fire, and that's going to force the drippers not to be able to spawn. There's going to be too much stuff on the screen. So we're going back in on this red diver here. If anything, you can pull the red diver out and ferry up and around it if you really, really wanted to. Attack level for Nim, very nice. I think the glove block room is coming up for him, though. He's going to probably be headed back to the left, and that's going to lead him to the item room, which is going to be, of course, the boots. So we're through the red diver. I didn't see how much experience it gave. Not sure if it was worth the fight or not. Yeah, this is going to be a glove block room for Nim here. 70 experience for the red gyra. That is the definition of not worth it. Unfortunately, this guy was blocking the way. There's an extra magic container. Still just 1 cast of fairy, though. Or maybe not. Maybe we have it a little bit lower at magic 3. I guess I didn't see the cost. It would have to come down to 40, though, for us to get 2 casts of it right now for Pickles and Beer. Our first trophy cave check here. Nice to have the candle when you see that MOA in the front. That's the one enemy that tends to troll runners. You never really know where that MOA is going to be positioned exactly, and it can't hurt at lower life levels. So in the dark, that thing's going to bop you and might hurt. But not too punishing to get reset at this point, seeing as it's just north of start. That's going to be our raft tile, and that is going to be potentially required. It's hard to say required, but we are going to have a raft tile on our Vanilla West. Not sure if it's going to lead to anywhere interesting, but we'll find out eventually. Everybody commenting on the solo Mirai. It's a good thing and a bad thing, I'm sure. We're doing a little grinding off of our blue bots here. We did see a jar at some point in the drop pool, but simply upstairs is lava. So if you wanted to go upstairs, you could, of course, just kill yourself, unless in a good way, in a tactical death, not in a insulting way or anything like that. But there's our jar from the head. Very nice stab. Gets the 50-50 jar. Ferries through this, and that's going to be boots for Nim. Also headed through jump cave here for Pickles and Beer. This is 3-screen cave force pass-through at this moment. This is the only way out of the north section. So he is on he's on the right path. Nim also going to be checking out this dead end here in 5. Probably also close to a level, kind of, sort of, 111 away, but there is going to be a key down here if he wants it. And he's going to save and be out of here as well. He's already checked the grass tile, so he knows what's down there. It's a whole lot of nothing. And so he's going to be back to start, into Magic Container Cave, into Trophy Cave, checking Rudo. I forgot what the spell was. But then we're going to be down through Jump Cave as well, following the footsteps of Pickles and Beer. We're going to get a long walk from Pickles. He's going to check there's one open cave over here, just north of the start of the swamp of Midori. Otherwise, the other item caves, the remaining item caves will be hammer blocked. Hammer blocked. That's the tool we need. The hammer block. There's boulders in front of the other 2 caves. He did pass by one in the swamp over there by the Lost Woods in Saria, and then the other one is just east of where we're at. Break out your vanilla maps if you need any additional help, folks. Which is a thing that runners do when they are not entirely sure what to do with the vanilla maps, because that's totally within the rules to just break out the map of known information. So what do we have here in the Pillar/P-Bag Cave? We have another magic container. I still didn't see what fairy has come down to at Magic 3, if it came down at all. That's going to be 96 magic, though. Each one of those bars is worth 16 on both magic and life. Into Magic Container Cave for Nim. Did hit Trophy Cave first, has his raft. 55 at Magic 3, so still not enough to get 2 casts up. It did come down 5 from where it was on Magic 2, but we don't know how much more that's going to come down. There's no guarantee in the randomizer that every level is going to drop the spell. There is a there's a fixed cost in a table that the randomizer puts into the ROM, and so whatever it ends up being, it may stay 55 all the way through Magic 6, so we'll have to see as they get levels. We'll just have to keep an eye on that. We're going to be checking what palace is here in the swamp. It's going to be something, it could be Palace 2, which would be vanilla location, but it doesn't have to be. And it is going to be Palace 4. We don't have Reflect to beat the boss, but we might just see Pickles and Beer go in for the item if we think it's accessible, or if he thinks he wants to spend his time in here. Otherwise, the only other option we have currently is to talk to Bagoo in Bagoo's Woods, and then check out Saria, see what spell is in there, cross the Saria water gap with Bagoo's note, and then head to the cave on the other side of Saria, which, well, who knows what awaits us. Okay, so Shield is in Rudo. If we find the trophy, I don't think either one of our runners have checked. I don't think Pickles and Beer went in for a check. There's also 3 hints in Rudo, so sometimes it's worth to just go in there and see what those hints have to say, if they're going to be useful or not. But there's no guarantee that the citizens of Rudo know a thing about the world that they live in. Homie J Smash in chat, here to watch Nimanva get beat up, I'm sure, but commenting that he got a vanilla map during one of the practice seeds and noped out of it all. It happens. It's a restrictive map. It works very well for the standard game itself because the game is played in a linear manner, but in the randomizer it can be very annoying to play a vanilla map depending on where everything is placed. Very true. We don't actually need Bagger's Note. We can just ferry across the gap. Spelltown here in Saria. I was going to say, you could save a little bit of magic if you thought you were going to be needing ferry at another point across the Saria gap, wherever it leads. Maybe it's Maze Island. You might want to ferry over some of those tough Lizalfos. Not sure. So we're seeing one of those boulder-blocked caves on Nim's side here as he passes through this swamp that is just west of the Lost Woods and just north of Saria. He's also going to be doing the same checks that Pickles and Beer just did. So, again, being a linear map, we're just going to simply see Nim following the footsteps, other than potentially going to get the Bagoo Note. Oh, good. That's thought he was going to take that boomerang and that was going to be a death with that pea bag sitting on the floor like that. Worth 200 experience, though. A nice little pickup. Yeah, unfortunately, that bot is not useful. That bot in Saria, I believe, only tells you where Bagu is going to be located. So it doesn't really have anything to say usually. Nim loves Bagu. That's a quote from Big Slammer there. So, oh, Nim not going to be checking the open cave and the palace up north first. He's going to be going across to Saria to see what's there. We've got a Death Mountain over across Saria, which is normal, except that our Death Mountain today looks like it's kind of mountainous. And we can tell that by, we can tell that by the cluster of the way that everything's put together, the fact that the terrain is not a yellow road tile. If it was a yellow road tile, that would mean we have a vanilla-like Death Mountain. And if it's mountainous, it may actually be segmented. So we'll have to see what awaits us in this Death Mountain. They do have a handful of levels, though, so I would say they're fully capable of handling anything that Death Mountain could throw at them. We just need to find our way to potentially the coast. There's usually some water in these Death Mountains. We have the boots from P5. We want to find that water, and then we want to kind of explore up and down the map. Psychonaut in chat wishing we had a Vanilla Shuffle DM. I don't know why you would want that. Spoken like a true non-Z2R runner. No, a Vanilla Shuffle DM is it's okay every once in a while. It's okay every once in a while, but I don't know how these runners would handle that, to be honest. So we might see a bridge or something along the edge here. We're still checking some caves, looking for a potential hammer cave that might have been left behind before we go out to the water and walk up and down. Yeah, to clear that up for anyone in the audience now or watching in the future, that a Vanilla Shuffle DM is going to be a essentially vanilla cave layout. It looks just like Vanilla Death Mountain, except the caves lead anywhere. They don't have to connect. They don't connect. In fact, they will not connect in their vanilla fashion whatsoever. They're going to connect any which way. And when we have our mountainous, our islands, any other biome that we have here in this flag set for Death Mountain, the caves are going to connect in the direction that they're pointing. So if you go into a cave heading east, you will pop out of the exit also due east at that point. So it's nice to know that. And a Vanilla Shuffle completely changes that behavior. We do have keys in the drop pool we see there on Pickles' side. Nim saying, no, I don't want to go into this Death Mountain. So he, instead of up and A-ing, I think there was maybe a pause there to see if he wanted to up and A. Up and A-ing is probably a little punishing. This is going to be kind of a long walk, though, to go back to the open cave and the other palace that are there in and near the swamp. Up and A-ing at this point would force him to go all the way back to North Palace, have to walk all the way back through Jump Cave and whatnot, and that's going to be pretty punishing. Now, on Pickles' side, we did see a suspect cave there in the northeast. We're not sure if that's going to be Hammer Cave or another connector at this point. That could be another connector that leads us to the southeast corner of our vanilla map, but it doesn't have to be. It can be Hammer Cave, and it could also be, well... yeah, if it is going to be a connector, it does have to lead back to our Vanilla West, because our Vanilla West has both of those caves on it. So he's going to head in that way. He's got to go in one, up one, and then over to that cave. Again, the caves are going to connect in a linear fashion, which means that when you see caves like this in a place that you want to get to, it's very easy to just kind of connect the dots and move in that manner. We also see the rock up here by our suspicious cave, so without the hammer, though, we can't do anything with it. But it is good to note to come back later when we have the hammer if we think we need it. And it is going to take us to the southeast corner of our vanilla map. Our Vanilla West, that is. And that's going to give us access to the third palace on the west. That's going to be our island palace. Ferry required to get there. We do have ferry from Raru. It's going to give us access to Mito. We're going to see what is in Mito, what spell resides there, and possibly where the medicine lies as well. But it's also going to give our runners access to Downstab as Nim picks up his magic container from the Pillar/P-Bag Cave in the Vanilla West here. We're going to get a Mito check first. Not a bad idea. And the raft. Completely forgot that we have the raft. We can check where the raft goes. Jump Town here. It's probably worth going in. Probably worth going in just to get that down stab at this point. Again, both of our runners, I want to say they're newish. I don't know all of their history with Z2R, but I want to say they're fairly newish to Z2R. So getting down stab earlier than not is going to be very beneficial to anyone, but especially those newer, less experienced runners. It's going to help them push through some potentially more difficult spots. So we do have our down stab now. We're going to probably see where the medicine is at in case we do want the jump spell. P1 has our medicine. Depending on where this raft leads, and it has to lead east or Maze Island at this point. Those are our two last connections. It could be Maze Island to the east. It could be a completely vanilla east. And it's Maze Island to the east, and we see our Maze Island bridge there just northwest of where we entered to Maze Island. So we have a vanilla-like Maze Island that was expected, and we won't have a vanilla east simply because the vanilla east has a raft tile and a bridge tile, and we would be expected to connect to the vanilla east via the raft tile if it were a vanilla east. So it's nice to see that we won't have vanilla across the board. Nim dipping into P4 here, trying potentially a tricky room going left here with these fast bubbles. Gets over it without any problem there. Pickles and Beer getting money dropped on the floor from all these enemies. That's going to be attack 4 for him. 500-point bag. We'll see what the next one has. On a sliver of life as well. Almost left $700 sitting on the floor like that. Very, very nice. Fairy's up and through, and we're going to see the second screen of Fairy Cave here, which is the same as Parappa, including the enemy set. And he's going to spit us out on the island. We'll see what Palisade is as Nim finds the item room here in P4. So this might be worth the dig. It might not be. We'll find out in a moment. Just a blue jar in P4 as Pickles and Beer walks into P3 or P6. Not sure. He's going to probably do, well, he's very close to a level. So he'll probably get that level and then up an A and try this palace again with downstab. This will be, if it is P3, it'll be very simple for these runners. If it's P6, it might be kind of a maze, but we'll see what's in store. There's our item here in Palace, whatever this is. This is a room that you do not want to die in. Do not open the door in this item room and die in this room. It will despawn the item that is a current bug. So thankfully, there are no enemies in the way here as he is on a sliver of health, but not anymore as he's healed himself up from that heart container. Yeah, Big Slammy pointing out in chat there with no way to beat P4, no other accessible areas on the Vanilla West. That means that Death Mountain is going to be the play. This is going to be a dead end for Pickles and Beer. Could be a P-Bag, could be a key. Either one of those would be desirable right about now. He just wants to get that level, I think. That's going to be a key. Any key you pick up when Fairy is expensive, it's nice to have keys for the simple fact that if you think about casting Fairy right now, it's still 55, and he only has 96 magic. 2 casts of Fairy is going to cost 110, so you only get that 1 cast of Fairy. And that means you have to die in order to get your magic back or find a magic jar, which we do have in the drop pool. But sometimes you might have to take that death, and it's a complete waste of a life just to get your magic back. But that's a sacrifice that runners have to make when it comes down to Fairy being the only way through palaces. So finding those keys are going to keep you alive when you find a door in case you're low on magic. I think Nim is trying to get that 790. That, as we saw on Pickles' side, that's going to be magic 4. We'll have to see if Fairy comes down from its 55. This could be a tricky room that Pickles is in. He gets a slow bubble to begin with, kind of an easy enemy in the middle, and then a fast bubble that bounces off screen. That was very nice. That room could be filled with double Moas, the previous room that Pickles was in, and it makes it a little bit more difficult. I'm still not sure if we know what palace this is that Pickles is in. P3, P6. We're looking for windows. We're looking for a boss. This is going to be a pass-through room for him. Hopefully he knows this. It's a vanilla pass-through room with a false wall. Very nice. Into an elevator. We're going to see if this is our boss. It is our boss, and that means we are in P3, and this is our Rebanak. So with downstab, our runners can simply kind of just cheese Rebanak in the corner. He is already very injured, so it might just take 1 or 2 hits to get him off of his horse. There it is, just 1 hit. And now we got to get to the other side of him, or Pickles just going to face off against him one-on-one. 1 more hit, and he is dead, unfortunately. He's going to get 2 more, just 1 more chance to fight Rebanak here. Hopefully not a game over. It was a few rooms in, and if it is a game over, that will give Nim a chance to catch up. Didn't see if Fairy came down at Magic 4 there. Pickles and Beer facing off against Rebanak on the floor. No problem. $500 from him. Skips the level. $500 from the boss. That's 1,000. We're going to skip it and get attack 5 at the gem placement here. Very nice. So that's going to be P3 completely down for Pickles and Beer as he heads back. Again, this is something that makes the vanilla biomes just, again, a bit restrictive, simply because you would normally just up an A out of a palace, generally speaking, and then you'd have, freedom to move around. Here, you've got the option to up an A back to North Palace, which takes a bit to get back to where you're supposed to be, or you walk all the way out of this cave and whatnot. It's a little bit shorter to do this for sure, rather than have to go all the way through Death Mountain. But we're going to be to the raft, and we're going to be to Maze Island. We're going to check for both the items there. We don't know what palace lies there, and we don't know what our east looks like either. And Pickles and Beer is going to be the first to show us that, as Nim properly turns in the Bagu note for access to the other side of... Sorry, I got a little jump there. I think we're going to see what this bridge takes us to first. It's going to be potentially a vanilla-like, potentially an islands. Could be an islands, but it also could be vanilla-like east. We'll have to see more of it to make a actual claim. Just simply looking around. We've got the boots, so we probably want to stay somewhat near the river. It allows us to just simply cross over the river and check the spots that border the river. This is going to be our first item, though. This is the tunnel with our orange Lizalfo. An easy 150 at attack 5. There's our hammer that completely opens the west. Pickles and Beer in a very, very good position at this point. He can up an A whenever he wants, simply head back to North Palace without any real penalty, and just simply cut through the restrictive vanilla west boulders to get back to the raft tile at any point in time now. And this also opens up Spec Rock for him that we did see. So if he wants to head back through the back entrance of Death Mountain there on the west to just give a quick peek at Spec Rock, he can do that as well. We've got no hints for what lies in a maze, so we don't know what the other item is. We also didn't get a check on the palace, so still unknown what palace is here. Nim making his way through Death Mountain here to the water. He should be able to just head up the coast and identify that suspicious cave sits in the northeast, and then make his way there, and that'll give him access to the southeast corner of Vanilla West. All right, so it looks like we got to do a little bit of digging into our vanilla-like maze island here. We've got the item potentially hidden behind some encounters. We've got this southeast corner here in our vanilla-like. Looks like a big old cluster of dead ends. So we're going to dig into this section here. Pretty easy encounter, though, just some generators. Nim going to commit to this cave. I don't think he saw what was in the northeast corner. He just saw this cave first. He's going to head back into Death Mountain. Also have 1-ups in the drop pool there. Very nice. He may have seen the cave. He has headed north there now. So he sees the rock, but he will also see the cave if he didn't already. That cave facing to the east. That's going to take him to the southeast corner of the Vanilla West. Still looking for our item here on Maze Island. There it is. I completely looked away. What was that anything? Apologies, folks. It was a heart. Okay, perfect. So that's an extra heart container for Pickles. He's in a very solid position right now. Still don't know if Fairy came down at Magic 4. Have to keep checking on Nim's side. Because if it does, if it comes down to 48 or less, that's going to give Pickles 2 casts of Fairy at that point. I don't think we checked the palace just yet either, but we will right now on Nim's side. It's going to be P1. We know the medicine's in here. We know that leads to jump in Mito. So we might see a dip for the item after if we find Horsehead first. We might be coming back in for the item. How dare I look away from the screen? I'm going to blame Psychonaut on this one. I thought something was happening in Discord. And because it was so funny, I said, here's the item, and then I looked away. Oh, man. No, it's okay, though. I should have stayed stuck to his screen. All right, so we got an I junction here. We got an up and right with a door. Should be handled, and then an up and left as well. We're going to head right here. This is a guaranteed door to be in this room, always at this position. Nope, not enough for Fairy, and no keys. Okay, so it looks like we're going to go up and left, or eventually take a death. We might take a death here on the Moa Fire. We're going to do just that. All right, so Magic 4, still 55 for Nim. He did do the crouch when he cast Fairy there. It's funny. I was under the impression that didn't work unless you needed to go down the chimney in Darunia as a Fairy. But it does seem to work also to go up through doors, interestingly enough. It's just that if you're jumping, you don't want to jump and cast Fairy because then you'll be stuck in the jump state and you won't be able to get into that door on top of the church there in Mito. So we do take Horsehead down, but it did take us a cast of Fairy to get in here, and now we're going to have to take another death. This is what I was talking about earlier with Fairy being the cost that it is and only getting one. Oh, man, and he's going to have to take a death at life 5 on these enemies. This kind of sucks, to put it plainly. It's entirely possible he can do that, but this is going to take a hot minute. Nim, seeing that it is P1 on Maze Island, saying, I'll be back. Let me check for these items. We know where they're at, but he's going to have to find them again. Yeah, the tin suits here, they do leech experience, and they are leeching a ton of experience. Luckily, though, you can't de-level in this game, so it is still 2,400 to place the gem. And we'll see if he uses it for that or if he saves it and comes back in for the item. Nim going to be finding his hammer here. Again, that's going to completely open our Vanilla West, and that's going to give us just full ease of access to all of the areas that we would have other been slowly traversing through. And that is going to be P1 gem placement for Pickles and Beer. Taking the deaths off the off of the tin suits like that. Not interesting. All right, and this is, oh, no, Nim was in the area where he got the item, and he checked the little dead end, had to come back through. Just a false alarm, didn't find the second item just yet. And we're off to our eastern continent, which again, I think might be vanilla-like, but we'll have to see more of it. We're going to be looking for desert tiles. We've got 4 or 5 desert tiles that are kind of sitting around. We're also going to be checking those forest tiles as well to make sure that we don't have a hidden Kasudo, hidden new Kasudo underneath our forest tiles. It's a flag we're currently using that randomizes that. Sometimes we see it, sometimes we don't. Here's our water tile, guaranteed to be the water tile, not a sneaky cryptic tile like the others. It's going to be our trophy. Trophy is shield in Rudo. We will be back to P5 at some point. Remember, P5 is up in Parappa Desert, so we'll have to go back to start at some point. It'll be quick to get to Rudo and get the shield spell right before you go in and fight Guma, if that's what our runners want. And then, of course, we can stop back in Mido to get jump before heading back to the east. We know that GP is not on the west, and it's not on Maze Island. So it's going to be on the east. That means once we do head back to the west to take out P5, probably our last palace that we'll be doing, unless there's something hiding in it, like the glove that's required elsewhere, or maybe the flute that may be required on our eastern continent here, then P5 will likely be our last palace, and we'll be able to hit up those spells, hit up those towns, grab those spells before we head back to GP. This could also be a caldera, to be honest. Haven't seen exactly what's in the center there, but we do see an old Kasudo, as Nim is still searching for the second item here on Maze Island. This is going to be fire. In our flag set here, this is going to be linked with something. We don't know what it's linked with just yet. Getting beat up by those invisible Moas. Kind of annoying. But the cross, if he finds it, oh, there's our hidden Kasudo. If he finds the cross, of course, those Moas will be visible. I didn't see what the town name was. Okay, 6 to get into the basement here instead of 7. This flag set, again, randomizes between 5 and 7. Going to be a heart down here as well. 7 hearts for Pickles and Beer in a really good spot. Again, as a slightly less experienced runner, and I don't mean that in any sort of negative way, but obviously these runners will probably want more hearts to keep them alive for longer. As you get more experience with Z2R, the strategy is just don't take damage, and then you don't need nearly as many hearts or the life spell. All right, so there's the life spell, speaking of. Our life spell in this flag set also will be randomized to heal anywhere between 1 bar to 5 bars of health. So they might get totally trolled by the life spell, or the life spell could be very, very good. And we do have the spell, so we're going to get a full check, a full clear of new Kasudo here. Just the P bag, $500 though, almost gives him the 1010. I think that's going to be Magic 5. It's either 1010 or 1090. I think 1090 was attack 5 for something. There's our second item from Nim. Anyway, he's got his 2 items. He's probably going to head into P1 right after this. Yeah, good call on chat there. I didn't see Pickles dip back into P1 for the medicine, so presumably skipping out on jump, which is what Mido was. Shield is going to be Rudo, and we did just grab the trophy from the water tile. Still checking our desert tiles, though. This could be, oh, there's our flute. Never mind. Not going to have a flute in 5 today. Still might have a glove that's kind of hidden, but we still have 2 item caves to check. That's going to be our Sunken and Risen item caves here on the east. Thundertown in Darunia. Not sure if you should go in and get the child hint. It is 3 screens just to get a hint. And we do have Nim in P1. We'll see if he has to take the same death that Pickles did. That was pretty costly in terms of time. It might be something that if he doesn't have to do the same thing, if he's got a key in his pocket, he uses it in the proper room. Again, that's going to be just hold right at this point. Is going to get him to the boss instead of going up and right, assuming he has a key. And I believe he has a key. You've seen a key pick up, I think, just on Maze Island, killing some enemies. There's going to be our upstab in Darunia as well. Yeah, we still didn't get a fire check, so we don't know if fire is thunder. If not, child going to be required. We're going to get that hint in the next screen here of Darunia. Maybe the kid is in P5. Oh, P6 for the child. Okay. Haven't seen P6 just yet. It's going to be in Death Valley, or it's going to be our other palace outside of Death Valley here on the east. On the west, we have 5 in Parappa Desert. We have 4 in the Midori Swamp area, and then we had 3 in Palace 3 spot. And then we had P1 on Maze Island, and that leaves 2, 6, and GP here on the east. Trying to get a better picture of where our pass-through may be on this continent that Pickles is on. Yeah, I would definitely take the magic level to see if I can get 2 casts of fairy out of that. Fairy down to 52, still not enough. That's still 104 on his 96 magic. Still not enough to get 2 casts of fairy. As I had talked about earlier, fairy is not guaranteed to come down. So here we are in Magic 5. Still requires over 100 magic to get those 2 casts in. Unfortunately, this is going to be a pass-through just headed north. We did see where this spits us out. This is going to spit us out in a dead end. So this is going to be a little bit of a time cost. This is going to be a 2-screen cave as well. Unfortunately, Nim did go up and right, and he's headed, I assume, in the direction of the item. So he will likely get the medicine here, but that is going to be another door he's got to get through. If that eats through all of his keys, then he'll have to do the same thing that Pickles did when it comes time to place the gem in Horsehead's room. Yeah, so this gets a little tricky here. Pickles taking a death from the mace flying through the air. He might get sent back to North Palace at this point if he takes a game over here. We do get a fairy. He's just going to body some damage here. Two heart containers, a little over 2 heart containers per bop from those blue guys at life 5. This is a tough room for Nim here. This is a little tricky. Okay, he makes it through. I'm not sure we saw this room on Pickles' side, especially not because this is the item room that Nim is in, so that's going to be his medicine. Assume he does have enough for fairy, but I don't know if he's got any more keys. All right, so this cave headed to the east here looks like it's going to be a pass-through. It is a pass-through. This is going to be our progression moving through this. Again, I say it's a caldera map. We'll likely see, or not a caldera, but a volcano, which is just the caldera, the active volcano, and the caldera being the volcanic lake and an inactive volcano, of course. But because we have Death Valley here on the east with its lava, that makes it a volcanic biome. But it is structurally the same, you could say. Geographically the same when it comes to these biomes. So that is going to push us through to the other side. Looks like we have a one-sided volcano as well. And that cave just north of where we walked in, just north of that palace. Or not. Looks like it's just south now. Is actually going to be where our entrance to Death Valley is. We're still checking desert tiles, but we don't need any. Maybe looking for some small items. This is going to be P2 for Pickles. And this is going to be another dead end for Nim here. It looks like he's chosen every way other than the one right way. So as much time as Pickles spent taking the death to those tin suits, not going to be made up here by Nim in this palace. Ferrying through doors is definitely allowed. When it comes to the randomizer, it doesn't want you in a palace until you have the fairy spell or the magic key. Those are going to be the only 2 guarantees that you're going to need to be in a palace at this point. There's no other flags to change that. If you have keys in the drop pool, you can choose to dip into a palace with a bunch of keys in your pocket, but there's no requirement from the randomizer to do that. That will be an out-of-logic play. So you will always receive the fairy spell or the magic key, or sometimes both, depending on where just everything's randomized, before you were ever expected to be inside of a palace in the randomizer. And if you're familiar with Death Mountain rooms, you'll notice that this palace room that Pickles is in is a Death Mountain room. We have a handful of Death Mountain. We actually have all the Death Mountain rooms recreated, repurposed for palace rooms as well. So you see some familiar rooms like that when you play. If you've ever played Winter Solstice, this is an elevator room from Winter Solstice that curtains on the floor are going to be snow in Winter Solstice, but because there's no snow in the randomizer, we're not going to get the snow here. It just turns into curtains. And unfortunately, Nim getting trolled by this key, definitely grabbable. There it is. Left the key up top there. That was very interesting. So Nim looking for a horse head. Does have that key. So as long as he can put that to good use, he's going to be able to break through one of those doors that block Horsehead. There's one door that blocks Horsehead, and then, of course, there's the door that blocks the gem pedestal post Horsehead. So he'll need access to get through those. This is going to be an elevator room for Pickles. Looks like life spell refills at least 2 bars there on Pickles' side. We did see a life cast, and he did have about 2 bars left or empty, and that did fill that up. So it could be at least 2. That's good to know. At least 2 is all right. It's better than 1 for sure. Very quick helmet head there. To attack 6 makes most of our bosses pretty simple. Can take the life level. Skips the life level, opting to just get. At this point, that was probably a mistake. Unless he wants attack 7, he could. I'm not sure he's going to find 600 more experience just lying around here. Yeah, he could have taken the life level, gotten the magic level off of the gem, and just kind of moved on. Attack 6 is a very healthy place to be. Nim wants, I don't think he's going to get experience here from these guys. He may. No experience from the tin suits, and he did clear out the door in that room, so he's able to walk back and kill something if he wants to. He's got drippers in this room, so we might see a drip, but again, with the Moa in here dropping fire, that's right. We're just dripping tin suits anyway, so we're not going to get any experience from them either. He can kill one of these bubbles, but every time he takes a bop from the bubble, looks like it leeches his experience, so might not want that. Now he needs 36 experience. That's enough, though. A bubble should give, well, a bubble might give 20, but a bubble should give enough. A bubble can give up to 100. That's going to be helmet head down for Pickles as well, so he's got 3 gems placed. And he's going to be back in here possibly looking for the item. Got the glove still on the table, so it might be worth trying this. Again, with 2 caves remaining, he's got a sunken P-Bag cave. He has risen P-Bag cave. You know P2 is right here. I would probably just step out, check those caves first. They're going to be on this side of the continent that he's on. And so check those caves really quick, and if it's not there, then come back into P2 and try it. So Nim does get his level there. That does push him into whatever 1140 was. And 2350 likely going to be attack 5 at this point. I assume 1140 was actually life 6. Going to be his first gem placed there. P1 here at 50 minutes, unfortunately. Maybe Pickles will get caught up in something that'll allow Nim to close the gap. Another key on the ground there. Like to pick that up. We're off to the east for Nim. We do know we've got a desert tile. We've got a water tile. We have New Kasudo under the forest tile over here. And I don't remember if we had anything else. We do have Old Kasudo as well, which was Reflect? No, it was Fire. I'm sorry. Old Kasudo was Fire. We still have not gotten a Fire check, so it's not sure what Fire may be linked with. Pickles is going to be dipping out of P2 there, unable to find the item. Says, we're just going to check these caves over here. We've got Sunken P-Bag Cave right here for him. This is going to be the fire spell for Nim. Looks like it's going to be life, actually. Looks like it's going to be life. He gets a fire cast. It does refill his life. We didn't see... Every once in a while, what we should see is that when we have a spell tethered to fire, when we cast that spell, we should see fire also be active. Sometimes that's not the case. Now, it's obviously not the case when you turn into a fairy, because you can't attack as a fairy, so you can't shoot fireballs as a fairy. So that's going to be one of the spells that you can't actually do a fire check on until you get fire and see it in reverse. But sometimes, like when you cast jump or when you cast life, you'll see fire come out, and then you'll know that you're attached to that. Also, when we have reflect, sometimes we see people cast fire. They don't know if it's attached to reflect. We'll see sometimes a reverse reflect check on some enemies where reflect can be used before jumping into P4. Now, this time around, I thought we did see a life cast on Pickles' side, but I don't think we saw any fire come out. So the flute was on the desert tile there, and P1 down for Nim as well. But forgot where I was talking here. Anyway, we saw the fire. We saw the live cast on Pickles' side. We didn't see any fire come out as far as I know. So sometimes that happens. I've seen it where sometimes you cast spell and you don't get the fire to come out. I think it might be something where the spell is positioned in the list, but or it could just be a minor bug somewhere to where fire is not active in reverse. Regardless, today in this seed, fire is life. So we've got upstab, I believe, on Nim's side. We're going to be checking for the child hint here, or not. There it is. Okay. Getting that it's P6 child thunder. And that's going to be our reflect in Nibiru. That's very nice. We've got reflects. We've got P4 sitting in the vanilla spot in P2 on our vanilla west. If you head left into Nibiru here, there are going to be 2 extra hints. There's this woman standing by the fountain. She knows nothing. And if you want to go in here and talk to the bat who's asleep on the ceiling, got to talk to him 4 times before you leave the room. Also knows nothing. So Nim has seen, I don't know if he saw New Kasuto at this point, but he should start chopping down those forest tiles with the hammer, if he hasn't already. And we've got Risen P-Bag Cave here for Pickles as well. He's hoping for the glove, I think, at this point. He did get another magic container, so now he does have 2 casts of fairy at this current magic level. And there's the 8th magic container as well for him, so he's stacked in terms of magic. I don't know if Magic 6 actually brought down fairy. It was 52 at Magic 5. Nim also going to be checking this 2-screen pass-through cave, which is unfortunately a dead end. And going to have to traverse that screen again. Oh, that's a game over. Back to start. That is going to hurt immensely here as Pickles and Beer walks into Death Valley. Did we see P6 or GP anywhere? Did I miss that on the west side of our volcano? Or did I not see it on the east side? Did I miss the check on Pickles' side? Because he's headed into Death Valley. With the potential palace sitting out there, you probably want to check that palace first to see if it's GP. We may have missed that check. Again, he may have seen that. It may have been GP. Okay, so GP already seen on the east. That means we've got P6 in Death Valley then. Heart container in the, is that heart container cave there for Nim? Yes, it is. You can also check medicine cave as well. I guess what might happen here is maybe the glove is in medicine cave. And maybe that's the key to, maybe Barba is glove blocked, or maybe the child is glove blocked in here. And unfortunately, we're not going to find out because Nim is not headed towards medicine cave. Okay, no hint from King's Tomb either. Anyway, if we do have a glove that's sitting in something like Speck Rock or Medicine Cave, that could be big for Nim. Unfortunately, not checking Medicine Cave. He's going to hit a P3, though, here on the island. That's going to be a death for Pickles and Beer on this encounter here. He does have, again, two... It looks like yeah, it looks like it is still 52. Yep, as Warlock pointed out earlier. P6 here in Death Valley. We'll see if we have any glove locks. Still looking for that glove, though. The spots where it can be found are diminishing. There's going to be P6. Pickles doesn't know what's in P4. We know it's a blue jar, as Nim has showed us. It may be Speck Rock, or it might be Medicine Cave, as we've seen Heart Container Cave already, and it's just a heart. But knowing that we have to head back to the west regardless isn't too bad to do those checks if it is on the west. It's just going to be punishing if we do have a glove lock in this palace that requires we have to come all the way back in this direction and double dip. So it looks like this elevator, we've got 3 lefts, I believe. One up top, one in the middle here, and then if there was one down below, I don't remember. No, in order to despawn the item in this room, you have to open the door first. Not sure why that's the trigger, but it is. Elevator up for Pickles. Is this going to be our boss? We're looking for a quick Barba, probably. We're probably looking for an item first before we find Barba. Otherwise, we're coming back in here to find that. I guess, did we see the item in P2? I guess that's still on the board as well? We didn't see a redip into P2. We did for a moment, but we didn't find the item as far as I can remember. Oh, this is going to be a interesting. If Pickles can't make this jump, he's going to need jump to get across. That's a pit right there. He also needs a glove to get through that room, if that's the way to Barba or the item. That's a vanilla P6 room. Interestingly enough, it got thrown into P6 here. And we're back to what looks like our elevator from before. So I think we're going to go up and left. Or down and left. Down and left we have, okay? Both are runners in the same room, albeit in different palaces. Dead end for Pickles here. Nim with the double bounce off the slow bubble lands in the lava. Don't know if he had any magic to cast a quick fairy or not. Up an A from Pickles. Going to retry a different route. We know Rebanak is not too far from where Nim is at. I think it's just past this room and up an elevator somewhere. He already saw the item. Again, it was just a simple pass-through room. Was it a magic jar in P2 or in P6? I thought it might have been a magic jar in P2. It was a heart in P3 for Nim. So Pickles and Beer with the trophy does not go back to turn in for shield and is not going to be headed back to P5 right now. Going to be checking this cave. We know there's a heart in this cave as well. That's going to be his 8th heart. Okay, so P2 was a magic jar. Gotcha. That is going to be P3 down for Nim. Also has P1 down as well. So we are going to get a medicine cave check here on Pickles and Beer's side. If this is the glove, this is big. If it's in P6, that's bigger, potentially. We have a few items left in the game here. We still have the cross to find. We still have the magic key to find. We know the child is in 6. That's right. I don't know. I keep saying the glove is in 6. It could be in 6, but it can't be because we have the child in 6 for Thunder. So there's our magic key. Not that he necessarily needs it anymore unless GP gets extra trolly. Waiting to see what we do here. Yeah, Pickles did give up on 6. We didn't see a child pick up as far as I know. And I don't know if we exhausted all the available routes. I'm not sure that we did. But then again, watching both runners, it's very easy to miss whatever they're doing in a particular palace. So I may easily be mistaken on exhausting all the routes in P6. We are going back to Rudo for a turn-in on Shield, though. Probably going to be headed to P5 after this, I would imagine. Or I guess we can't. We need the glove to get to P5. We do have at least one glove block. That's right. We saw that very early on in the game. So potentially Spec Rock being the child then. I mean, being the glove. Sorry. Trying to map all this out in my head here and what we have left and where everything's at. Because I can't think of any other locations that have anything at this point. The only thing that Pickles and Beer dipped out of would have been P1 for the medicine. We already had that hint. We know that the medicine is the jump spell in Mido. Yeah, good old glove in Spec Rock would mean that we have to go back to North Palace again and then do P5 in the Parappa Desert. That's a game over for Nim, unfortunately, there in the east. He has to head all the way back. He has the hammer, though, as well, so it's not nearly as punishing as this could be. If he had to stick to the original route, he would have to push through Jump Cave every single time, pass by the Lost Woods every single time, go into Death Mountain every single time to get back to the southeast corner where the raft tile's at. But with the hammer, as you can see, it completely opens up the continent, and that's something you're really looking for when you're running vanilla is the hammer, at least for the west. Yeah, 1 hour without the glove, and you have to be wondering if your opponent has it. I think we're going to finally get a knockdown on the trees just north of Old Kasuto here, where New Kasuto was founded in the desert. It's going to be our life spell, and it's going to be a heart here in the basement, and then I don't remember what's in the magic and in the spell tower. I think it's actually just a pea bag back there. Yeah. So we're seeing Pickles and Beer go in the front side. I'm using air quotes here for the front side of Death Mountain. He could probably walk to the backside a whole lot faster and hit up the rock. This way, he has to go through about 4 caves at least before he gets back to Spec Rock. Whereas taking the hammer and heading down to the graveyard by Mido, you only have to go across a double bridge encounter, and then you can get to the backside of Death Mountain. All right, spell tower check for Nim, and Death Mountain for Pickles and Beer. Yep, just a pea bag. Unfortunately, I don't know if he did get the hint for a child in P6. He did see that. That's correct. Darunia was hidden in the northeast section of our western side of our eastern continent. If you can keep that straight in your head. It wasn't a hidden position to a hidden spot today, though. So it's nice that both of our runners did find that. Otherwise, if one of our runners found that, and that would have been obviously Thunder, that would have been completely missed by one of our runners. But they both found it this time, so that's nice. Nim a little, I don't want to say confused, maybe not, still looking around here. Here he's going to finally try this pass through here. This is the answer to get to the other side of the east. Pickles and Beer still just cutting through these caves. Finally to the water. He's got to go through 2 more caves now. One to come back into Death Mountain, one to go north to the rock, and then he will be out. And on top of that, he's taking all these encounters. This was, of course, the way that took the longer path to get to Spec Rock here. Nim in our... See, okay, so here we go. Are we sure that P2 has a magic container? Because I'm pretty sure both Sunken and Risen P-Bag Cave have magic containers in them. That would mean P2 does not have a magic container, because that'll be all 8. So I'm still not 100% sure if P2 was dug out just yet. But we're about to find it here. It is the cross, and that, to me, confirms that P2 has the glove. So Nim, technically, this just kind of switched positions at this point. If Nim kicks it into high gear, I think he can definitely close the gap, very much so, here. Or, I guess we haven't seen Hammer Cave. Did we not see Hammer Cave? I could have... I thought we saw Nim come in here and show us what was in Hammer Cave before. I could be wrong on this. I don't know why it was... happened so long ago. We're already at the 69-minute mark. Happy 69 minutes, everybody. Just trying to go over some things in my head here. I guess we're about to see what's here. I thought it was a Gorilla. Yeah, see, I'm faintly remembering this, but I could be wrong. Okay, it's a 1-up, so that's not where the glove is. I'm going to say glove's in P2. And unfortunately, it seems like Pickles was in P2, had the chance to grab that glove, and got out of there just to go to 6. Nim needs to press the pedal and get that speed up. He needs to get his magic container out of here, get into P2, get the item out of there, get his glove, get into 6, go back and do 5, and he will technically be caught up here with Pickles and Beer. But then again, we have to do 4. We have to do 4, and Pickles is headed there now, so he will be able to keep up by at least a palace, I'd say. Yeah, so there's our 8th magic container. We are going to get a kill on the blue guy here. We're 300 experience. It's very nice, but unfortunately, we are still about 1,600 experience shy from a level. Walking into P4 for Pickles and Beer here. Hopefully walking into P2 for Nim. All right, so that's... I believe Nim is right next to P2. And that would have been GP that's further closer to the coast. And that means that's P6 in Death Valley then. So now that we've got all that mapped out, that I've seen all of that. Okay, P2 for Nim. He needs to get in here. He needs to find Helmet Head. He needs to find the item. He needs to go. Nim, you need to go. Because at this point, Nim does have information. Oh, I thought we had a close Karak. Nim does have information. Oh, we have a pass-through Rebenak, though. Nim does have information that there's only a blue jar in P4. So he's not coming in here for the item. He's coming in here for the boss, and he's going to get the hell out of here whenever he does this palace. Now, we know that the item is not too deep into P4, but I guess that depends entirely on the way that Pickles routes this post-Karok. Yeah, so this is going to be a glove block for... Ooh, a glove block for Pickles and Beer here. Is this really happening? Do we have glove blocks in 4 and 5? And if we do, is Nim going to find the glove in P2 and actually truly close the gap here, as Pickles has to now find the item in here, which we know is a blue jar. And then he'll have to walk all the way back to the east side of the eastern volcanic biome we have, which isn't too far of a walk, but still, it's several minutes. And then he's got to get back into P2, remember where he went and where he didn't find the item before to avoid those paths. And here's our item in P4. He's going to see it's a blue jar, and that's going to confirm P2 glove. Just like vanilla, just like our Vanilla West. Yeah, I should have talked about Rebo Shark. We did see the Rebo Shark sprite there. That's where Rebanak is usually riding a horse. When you put Rebanak into P4, the horse sprite takes on part of Karok's robe. And so the way that it's positioned makes it look like he's either riding a jet ski or a shark. And yeah, so he's that's Rebo Shark in P4. You can only get a Rebo Shark in P4. Pickles and Beer up and A back to start, wondering where this item is at. I think at this point, if he's been tracking properly, he realizes it's going to be in P2 and regretting not fully digging that out. You will get a chance to see Rebo Shark again on Nim's side, though, whenever he goes back to P4. Might be a little bit, though, because we're hoping that he finds Helmet Head soon, and at the same point in time, is able to find the item here in 2, because here comes Pickles and Beer. And that's not a sentence I ever thought I would have to say, but here he comes. Unfortunately, Nim not finding Helmet Head or the item just yet. This is a big old pass-through with these pillars. There's no elevator in here, so we're not going to find any connection to an item directly. Or, I mean, I guess there could be an item room left of here. Not yet. We do have this elevator, though. Don't know if we saw this check just yet. I don't remember a lot of P2 at this point. Going down and right. Pickles and Beer retracing his steps here, wondering if maybe he missed something here in the east in the overworld locations. He didn't. I wonder if he thinks he's glove locked in 2? He might have come to that conclusion. We did see a glove lock on Nim's side. Looks like this is a loop room. Going down that elevator, or maybe he came back up the elevator to check? Did I miss that? I'm sorry. Looking back and forth, both of our runners, seeing what they're doing at this point. First one to find the glove is obviously going to be in great shape. Nim not liking what he's seeing here. Back in the sunken P-bag cave for... I'm sorry, this is a 2-screen pass-through, isn't it? There's a pass-through that shares this exact same cave. Yeah, just the pass-through over to the eastern side. Back in the P2, both of our runners in the P2. Pickles and Beer is like, give me that glove. And Nim is just trying to find horse Helmet Head right now. So he doesn't know that the glove is in here. I don't know if Pickles and Beer recalls all of the directions he's tried, so you can run into this plenty of times where you're just going to have to start re-clearing the entire palace again. He may have forgotten. It has been probably a solid 15, if not closer to 20 minutes at this point. He's done all the other overworld checks in the west. He went and did P4 as far as he could. Noticed that there was a glove lock. Noticed that the item is a blue jar in P4. And so that headed him, that forced him to head back into this direction because this is all he's got. He also checked, he also went in the long way into Death Mountain to check for spec rocks. So that did cost him a little bit of time as well. That's our glove block that we do see on Pickles and Beer's side. Nim did see that earlier as well. So we're just kind of walking around at this point. I am not doing a phenomenal job keeping track of what's happening here. A lot of these rooms, it seems like we've been in a lot of these rooms a few times. I wonder if we're almost getting trolled by a potential duplicate room that we're not really noticing, and our runners are thinking that they've been in it before, but they may have not been in it before. This happens to the best of us. So, well, here's the boss for Nim. An injured helmet head. And a quick helmet head at that, especially at attack 6. Dead end elevator room here on both sides for Pickles and Beer. Yeah, at this point, if they wanted to hand me the controller to try to find this item, I'd say no, because I don't know where they're at and I don't know what they've seen. This is that pass-through room that we saw Nim in just a little bit ago that I made a comment on. I think this is just simply going to lead to a T-junction room that ends up being a loop. We'll see if we go down and right, though. Down and right is where Nim was, and he said, no, I'm not going back down there, because I think that loops to the left side of this room. I think it's a whole loop. Okay, so it is a loop. That is, okay, just making sure. I thought it was a loop on Nim's side. It is definitely a loop here, as Pickles and Beer is showing us. So I don't know what else we have available to us right now. We do have this elevator. Don't know if we saw this elevator on Pickles' side. I'm going to say we didn't, because this is the item room. Nim is the first to the glove here at 80 minutes into this game almost. He needs to cruise. He needs to, again, if anyone could send him a page and just tell him, hey, step on the gas, mate, that would be great. So there's his glove. He's out of P2. He's done with that. Get into Death Valley. Go get the child. Go back to the west. Take out P5, P4, both glove locked. Get in there. Let's go. Let's go. Funny thing is, though, the glove, Pickles and Beer has the double dip this palace here. He left this palace, and again, I'm not sure why he did. Might have thought he was glove blocked. Might have just wanted to check the remaining areas of the map and just didn't come back into 2. And unfortunately, 5 and 4 on the west are glove blocked. I don't know why we didn't complete 6 when Pickles and Beer was there. He neither saw Barba nor the item. The item is the child in P6 that's blocking Thunder. So there's a whole bunch of progression that the glove is blocking. And again, the unknown reasons why we left 6 could have been a glove block, like I said. Wasn't paying super close attention to P6 routing, but we're going to see that here on Nim's side, as Pickles and Beer is still looking for the glove in P2, which he could have found probably 20 plus minutes ago. There is no breathing. It's excitement. We need to keep the reporting going. Here's our item for Pickles and Beer. We're both going to be we are essentially at this point neck and neck, because both of our runners have the glove and they're both blocked by the same glove blocks up to this point. You're saving and going back to the west. That's an interesting play. I probably would have just done P6. He's going to have to come all the way back and go through Death Valley. If Nim can find Barba quickly, and I'm using air quotes there as well, quickly, as well as the item, then this could be big for Nim. This could be the turnaround here. For the third time, I don't know why Pickles and Beer stepped out of P6, but we're about to find we're going to have to watch Nim a whole lot closer. If it's a glove block, then that's the reason why. But if it wasn't a glove block, he could have been done with this palace as well. He does have the magic key, though, so all these fairy casts and whatnot are going to be out the window. No more need for all this magic and fairy casts to get through doors on Pickles and Beer's side. We're going to see how far Guma is in the P5 as well. We saw a glove block moving to the right, not too far into the palace, and then heading left, wherever we saw our first branch. Heading left was toward the item room, which was the boots, which we found, again, over an hour ago. So we'll see if these runners can find Guma quickly, if they can, or if they don't take a bunch of deaths to Guma. That could be another thing that sets them back. Speaking of deaths, there's a lava bath for Pickles and Beer. This is going to be a dead end on the right side of this room for Nim. Take the elevator and go. Another death. Are we just... It could be a tricky jump there. If you've got a bit of input lag there, you do end up in the lava. $500 in the bag there. Probably not worth it at this point, needing 3,600 plus experience for Nim. He needs to just find the boss, find the item, and get out of here. He needs to put the high octane gas in the tank and go. He was behind a good chunk of time, and the plot twist in this seed was that 4 and 5 are glove blocks, and the glove, unfortunately for Pickles and Beer, was left behind in P2. Otherwise, he could have had that glove 20 plus minutes ago, and that would have been GG for him at this point, I would imagine. But so far, oh, we have the glove. That's right, we have the glove. So that might be why Pickles and Beer stepped out of here, is because of this room. This is a vanilla glove block. Yeah, now the choice is, do you go down there with the blue iron knuckle? Do you get up here? He can make this jump. It can be tricky, though, if you're not used to making this jump. He does make it. Here we are. We're looking for Guma, P5 as well. This is going to be a dead-end room for Nim, unfortunately. It looks like a different room, but it is a troll room, because it looks like the other community room. I say community room, but it's actually the other room is a repurposed Death Mountain room. So up in A, restart on P6. So the glove block took us nowhere in P6, so we'll have to see where else we're going. We did see this branch on Pickles and Beer's side, if I'm remembering correctly. I believe he has an all the way up and left on this elevator, and I don't think we saw that check on P&B's side. And this would have been our last check I think we saw on P&B's side before he up and ate out of this palace. This is a dead end. Here's our glove block in P5 that we were talking about earlier. This is going to be new territory for us. Pickles and Beer also on his last life. Is that correct? Or did he up and A from after those 2 deaths that he took in that one reverse P2 jump room? I don't remember. We need a quality of life feature to where in one of the corners of the screen we have keys and lives shown to the runners, or to the audience. All right, this is going to be 2 dead-end rooms. Unfortunately for Nim, I'm going to be checking these. I say 2 dead-end, I mean two sides of this elevator are dead-end. It's just a decorative elevator. That's a downstab through a glove bridge. That's going to be a game over in P5. There was no up and A on Pickles and Beer's side. That's going to be his 3 lives, 2 in the lava bath, and 1 there. I guess 3 lava baths, technically. This is a glove block. No, it's not. It's not a glove block on Nim's side. Apologies. Wrong. Bad room identification by me. Shame on me. Animus United rating with a party of 5. Welcome. Animus is going to be up. Oh, this was the room right here. This is the room right here. Did he grab jump? He's going to have to make that jump. Oh no, that's the room. That is the glove block, but he's going to have to make the jump. Do we have jump from Rudo? I think we do. I know Pickles and Beer hasn't turned it in yet. I think Nim has, though. Psst, Nim, could you open your menu? Well, he's headed back this way, so I'm going to say yes. Otherwise, he might try to ferry that hole And he can't. You cannot ferry over that hole. There's a glove lock on the other side of that room. No jump spell. He's going to ferry over it. This is a total block at this point. Oh, no. So was it Pickles and Beer that went back to turn in jump? Has nobody turned in jump? Oh, no. We got glove blocks. We got jump blocks. You can make that jump. It's a 4-tile jump, and unless you know exactly where you need to start from, all I have to say is good luck with that. This is disappointing because this could have been where Nim really, really caught up. But unless he can make that jump, and I'm not saying he can't. It's entirely possible that he can, but it is a very tricky jump. And I'll be honest, I don't practice this jump, but I've never made it myself. I saw RCS do it one time in a tournament race, but I don't think I've seen anyone else make that jump in a tournament race. If they have, it's pretty rare that this 4-tile jump is made simply because the gap is invisible. It's a false floor. And so you don't, unless you practice it, you're not fully experienced with where you need to take it to the edge. It's going to be the second tile. Oh, no, almost, but it's a little bit further out. Shield was in Mito behind Medicine, and Rudo was Jump today. Or, no, I have that backwards, don't I? Yes, I have that backwards. Melee Wizard coming through there. Shield was in Rudo behind Trophy, and Medicine was Jump in Mito. That is correct, because Pickles and Beer did not pick up the Medicine for the jump spell, so he's going to have to figure this out as well. We're seeing a bit of a pause, perhaps a bit of a think, perhaps a bit of existential wonderment on what Nim is doing in the Z2R tournament. Well, if he's pulling up the P6 map, he'd have to read the ROM, so that's going to be against the rules if we're reading the ROM looking at P6 maps here. This is not a vanilla layout to this palace. It just so happens to be that the vanilla room is in here. Oh, that's entirely possible. Sure, yeah, to see where the hole is at. I guess he'd have to know that it's a P6 room standard, though. Luckily enough, though, it is. But he's going back up there. He's not up and A-ing yet. He's gonna, yeah, All Keys tutorial, yeah. Well, All Keys would have jump by then. It'd probably be some... I guess I'm not familiar with any categories that jump that gap in vanilla. It's a very tricky jump to make, but Guma is being made to an easy fight here by Pickles and Beer. Attack 6. Very nice. P5 down for him. Unfortunately, the longer that Nim is unable to make this jump, the longer this is going to hurt him. Oh, I thought he was going to do it. The jump is required, but the jump spell is available, and neither of our runners have it. Only one of our runners has the item to get the jump spell, and the other doesn't. Nim has the medicine, which is Mito jump, and that's going to be in P1. And Pickles and Beer on the right does not have the medicine. He can't turn anything in for the jump spell right now. He'd have to go back to P1 and get the item out of there. Oh, that's very nice recovery there. Almost getting stuck down there. Guess he could have ferried out of there, but yeah, this is his only chance is to make this jump. If he has to go back to Mito right now, he may still technically. Oh! Look at this! The screen cuts out. What just happened? Is the stream off? It's green on my screen. He's there. He's back. He's back on the other side. I think it was a Game Genie code. We'll just overlook that. Let's go, Nim. There's our kid. Let's go. I've lost volume on him, though. We're back in P4, if I'm not mistaken, on technical difficulties. The jump, crossing the jump has created a small rift in the time-space continuum. We've got a few technical errors across the board there. I think audio is back. Things just fell apart. And then maybe Nim just threw his arms up in celebration there and completely knocked some things loose. It's entirely possible.
Yeah, apologies for that, chat. No idea what happened there, but audio should be back now. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Outstanding. This is a race now, because unless Pickles and Beer goes to get the medicine and goes back to Mito, which isn't too far, it's going to be simply a raft ride. Raft over to Maze Island. P1 is on Maze Island. Get the medicine. Come back to Mito, sitting right there on our Vanilla West. And he would have to do that to make that jump very easy, unless he's going to be. But if he doesn't, he's going to be stuck doing that jump manually, I guess you could say. Lot of doors in this palace here. Luckily, plenty of lives left for Nim. We're hoping to see a Barba real soon. Not yet. There is actually a jar in that head up there, that statue head at the top of that elevator there. If he was to smack that, he gets a 50-50 jar. I only say that because he has no magic left if he runs into another door. He also has no keys. Here's going to be Karok and P4 for Pickles and Beer. Easy fight. Another door. Oh no. He could go back, check the statue. He might take a death here. We don't know where Barba's at. Barba could be in either direction. Might be just trying for a key, potentially. Are we going to see a magic 7 on Pickles' side here with P4 down? We might see a fairy come down even lower. No, not in that statue, Nim. We got to go back one room and go up. Yeah, don't get yourself killed on the blue guy, though. Life 7 and a ton of health. Pickles and Beer is closing in, though. Well, there it is, except the wrong 50-50. Still can't get it, but he knows it's in there. So he's going to go through this room, or not. Okay. Just don't kill the guy, because if you kill him, you lose your chance to get that jar. There it is. Is he going to go back down, or is he going to head right? Either directions are open at this point. It's all new territory. Hitting the raft tile for Pickles and Beer, headed back to the east. We'll see if he makes a stop. In P1, though, doesn't make a stop in P1. That's where our medicine's at. That's what's blocking jump. Pickles and Beer confident he can make that jump without the jump spell. He's more confident than I am. Shit, Nim's more confident than I am. Look at the man make the 4-tile jump in a tournament race, and he's potentially going to win. This is going to be a dead end for Nim. He needs to turn around, go upstairs, and go through that duplicate room that he saw. Get out of this room. It's a dead end statue room. Or he can try to get a jar out of there if he really wants it, but he's full on magic. Pickles and Beer into the pass-through, through the volcano. He's going to be back into P6 very shortly. As much as I've told Nim to put some high-octane gas in the tank and hit the pedal, he's still kind of taking his time. He doesn't know that, though, to be fair. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know where anybody's at. Or did he choose to go up? Did he not choose to go down and right? Was I turned around in there? Okay, he did choose to go up and right. My bad. I'm sorry. He needs to go down and through that door. Okay. That's what I get for looking away for a moment to see which direction he went. Back through this mostly empty bridge room at this point. Just a MOA. High octane in this economy. Yeah. Here we go. Okay, through this door. These are things that are not going to be stopping Pickles and Beer, though, because Pickles and Beer has the magic key. I think Nim still has one life in reserve, though. Depending on how good Nim is at fighting Barba, sometimes you get caught, and Barba can be tough for newer runners. If he does game over in here, here's our Barba. If he game overs in here, he's going to have to do that jump again. He does have a cheap fire life, but if you get bopped by Barba's fire, you could end up in the lava very quickly. Point in case. Case in point. Exhibit A. No lives left. Moment of truth. Barba, one of the trickiest fights for new runners, but honestly, once you understand the Barba fight, one of the easiest fights in the game. Barba is definitely worth a practice. But if this keeps up, he's just be able to stab very, very, very slowly. Attack 6, doing a good amount. Oh, no. It's the exact same timing every single time that Barba shoots out the fire. The exact same timing. If you got it down once, you got it down every time. The only thing that's going to be stopping Pickles and Beer here is that 4-tile jump with the false floor. Looks like 3 more hits for Nim. He missed that one, and I was going to make a comment that you can actually get 2 hits in on a nice crouch stab. Okay, it might be more than 3 hits, because that hit didn't take off a bar. Oh my god. Oh, Nim! Well, I need a strong drink after that one. Barba is definitely worth a practice round. Dead end for Pickles and Beer here. This is the trolley dead end. Yeah, both of our runners are going to have to do this 4-tile jump. Now, these are the things that newer runners may run into. We'll just talk about this for a moment. Newer runners may see something like this and may feel like the randomizer is really punishing for forcing them to do this. But when you look at this seed, jump is readily available to both of our runners. One of them has the spell item that's blocking it, has opted to not turn it in for jump. Jump is a very valuable spell. You'll see any top runner sometimes go out of their way to grab jump. Jump is very hot in GP when you've got a lot of waffle rooms or you need to escape the birds or anything like that. Jump is a really great spell to have for those reasons alone. But the other runner, Pickles and Beer in this case, not picking up the medicine after having the hint that Horsehead has the medicine for the jump spell. Both of our runners got that when they were in Mito, picking up downstab. So while this seed may look punishing on this front, it's not. The jump spell is readily available, and the jump spell absolutely destroys that jump, right? You just jump right over it, no problem. And so we're probably going to find both of our runners really hating that they're having to do this, but it's sort of self-inflicted at this time. We've got multiple pass-bys of Mito, and we still have no turn-ins for jump. And again, Mito sitting right next to the raft tile. We have a Vanilla West. So Mito sitting right next to the raft tile. And the raft tile leads right to Maze Island. And P1, again, where the medicine is at, sitting 6 tiles from the raft tile, from where you enter Maze Island. And we have not chosen to go get that on Pickles and Beer's side. But and we've not chosen to turn in the medicine for that jump spell on Nim's side. So unfortunately, we're probably going to see some frustration here. But then again, maybe Pickles and Beer will surprise us all and make this jump like a pro. It's coming up in the next room. Here it is. He knows it's there. Oh, nope. 1 up for Nim, though. We're getting a lot of rechecking in directions where we have seen the dead ends before. Definitely some forgetting the path that we took to get to where we were. Then again, if Pickles and Beer makes this jump soon, then he still has a little bit of exploration left to go through P6 before he finds Barba. He could also game over to Barba as well. It's entirely possible. But at this point, if Nim doesn't make this jump very soon and get back there very soon, he still has P5 and P4. He still has Guma and Carrick to find and fight, where Pickles and Beer has already done that. And that's where we were hoping the gap would be closed. But unfortunately, Pickles and Beer, 5 out of 6 gems already placed once he gets to Barba at this point. unless he just can't seem to make this jump. Again, very, very, very tricky jump. There it is. Trickiness completely erased. Pickles and Beer en route to getting the child right here. That's for the Thunder Spell, and Barba's not that much further in. If he just simply holds right at this point, he's going to reach the elevator with Barba. Nim back in this room. Both of our runners making it look so easy now. So easy. I shouldn't have admitted I've never made that jump myself. Now I have to go back and practice that. Pickles and Beer needs to just hold right at this point. Nim needs to just hold right at this point. Although, there it is, one last final cast of Fairy. We'll see if he goes up the elevator to try to get that 50-50 jar. Those doors, again, not blocking Pickles and Beer with the magic key. Nim not having that. I believe that was in Medicine Cave, which we did not... Or... It was somewhere. It was in one of our overworld checks that I don't remember at this point. Heart Container Cave was a heart. Speck Rock was the cross. Hammer Cave was a 1-up or something like that. And I think it was Medicine Cave had our magic key. So here's Barba for the first time for Pickles and Beer. 3 lives in reserve. And with the shield spell. That's the turn-in that we did see so far in Rudo for the shield spell. Pickles and Beer looking pretty confident on Barba here. I would say that unless a huge mistake is made, that Barba's going to go down. Barba does go down. And as long as we don't fall into the lava afterwards here, we should be just fine. Six palaces down for Pickles and Beer. Still got to head back to the west side of our eastern continent, back through the volcano. Or maybe we will see an up and A all the way back to start. And the hit up of Mito, or I guess he doesn't have the medicine, never mind. We won't be hitting up Mito on Pickles and Beer's side. So we're going to see a walkout of P6 back through Death Valley, back into the pass-through that takes us to the west side of this continent, back into our 3 screens of Darunia, including the basement to get the Thunder Spell, and then back to the east side of our eastern continent to find GP, to enter GP sub 2 hours. It's only going to be a few more minutes, maybe sub 150. Barba round 2 for Nimanva. Oh, Pickles and Beer with the upstab into the bat and then taking the damage from the blue spider, pushing him forward rather than ending up in the lava there. But then shortly after ending up in the lava. I did talk about this when Elendar and I were doing the comms for Pickles and Beer and Trails for opening day, is that even though Pickles and Beer was up against Trails, again, incredibly good runner of Z2R, that P&B was looking pretty good for a newer runner. So we've seen a really nice Barba fight. We've seen some other nice plays. We saw the 4-tile gap traversed with, no real issue. So unless something goes horrendously wrong, Pickles and Beer are likely going to take this, and he will be 1-1 after this. We're still a little early to call the GG, but he's going to have a very large amount of time ahead of no Thunder Spell. Oh, just going to do the up and A. Okay. And say he's going to have a very large lead over Nimanva going into GP at this point. So unless GP is extremely punishing, or unless Pickles and Beer has some sort of technical difficulty, I would probably, at this point, give it to him. Nimanva had a chance, though, being first in the P6 with the glove out of P2, which is where Pickles and Beer left that behind. Probably regretting it immensely and wondering if that's really going to cost him. At this point, though, it could have very easily cost him, but at this point, with still 2 more gems to place on Nim's side, and that's going to be P5 and P4. I don't remember how far Karak was into P4. Didn't seem like he was too far in. Also didn't seem like Guma was too far in, but I don't know Nim's experience fighting Guma, so he may take a few extra deaths there, still costing even more time. Yeah, I think this is Pickles' first Z2R tournament. As far as I know, I haven't been around since the beginning by any means, but I don't know the name from Z2R at all. So I do believe this is his first tournament, and I don't know if he doesn't. I don't think he plays any vanilla. So I think this is all just full on been practicing the last few weeks or months or whatever, and this is where we're at. And this is he's looking pretty good. We're going to be into Darunia here, hidden in the northeast section of the western side of our eastern continent. Going to be turning in the trophy for shield here for Nimanva. Probably going to want that. Fighting, well, I guess I wouldn't help too much on Barba, but we're definitely going to want that on Guma. Even at life 8 and 8 heart containers. Probably a little bit quicker to up an A out of Rudo and then head back to North Palace instead of having to walk out of the basement, out of the town, and then all the way across to the Parappa Cave. At this point, though, these are just little time saves I'm pointing out. Nothing against Nimanva. Against newer runners, this isn't to point out what the new runners are doing wrong show. It's just simply just trying to point out some tips here and there for anyone to pick up. You do see a lot of up and A's from veteran runners. They know that wherever North Palace is at, kind of think of that as a home base. And, where is the next thing you need to go? Where's your next destination in relation to home base? Is it closer to there? If so, up an A and get back there ASAP. Yeah, also not being a friendly seed to the newer runners here. This is, they're probably mentally exhausted, and they are probably both mentally and physically done with this seed after this one. They're just going to be glad that this is over. But we still have GP to go. And again, GP could be, I'll just say it could be terrible. So I chuckle, but I do feel for them. So they're very well equipped, though. This would be a lot different if this was Max Rando. As Pickles and Beer walks into GP, barrier up, sub 150. We'll have to see what we've got in here. King Bot, as the screen freezes. King Bots are so powerful, they simply freeze the screen a little bit. That's not true, but it was just funny the way that happened. Both dots, vertical and horizontal here in this elevator room. Got a Firebird up there in a left simple pass-through room. So these are the waffle rooms that we like to have jump for. As you can see, it would be nice to go high in this waffle so that you wouldn't have to go low and take potentially numerous beams to the face or the shins from this red bird, as he's just chewing through a heart container every time he does land one of those. Upstab, though, does make this possible. Oh, turning back around at the wrong point in time. That's going to be probably another body. Oh, just enough time to get life spell off. Does cast a full spell on life, though. Are we going to see? There we go. See, we got a life cast, but we did not get the reversed. We did not get the fire spell tethered to it in reverse for whatever reason. Again, pointing that out earlier in the scene that sometimes that happens. You do the fire checks, but you do fire checks on existing spells that you already have in your spell book, but sometimes they don't actually carry out in both directions. Anyway, this is a fairy block room. He will have to ferry this unless he gets sucked into the lava. Nim making his way through P5. That was our glove block that we saw very early on in P5. And shouldn't be too much longer in here, although We didn't see a lot of room, so there's probably potential to being trolled, depending on whichever route you take that Pickles and Beer, opposite of Pickles and Beer. It didn't seem like Pickles and Beer took too much time in P5. He spent a little time in P4, though, because he also had to dig out the item. Yeah, bodying those birds, 2 heart containers each time you body those things. Looks like the beam is 1 heart container, and the body, the hug, is going to be 2. Ooh, got double firebirds in here. Another heart container for the fireball that they spit out. Unfortunately, an L7 room dead end here. It's honestly probably worth the up and A at this point. I don't remember where the last junction was. He's got to go back through the previous room, which was a little nasty, and back through that waffle room, which was a little nasty as well. Knowing the bot is there, of course, quick up stab, not getting buzz thundered. I guess with full life, it's a little hard to get buzz thundered. But the term buzz thunder is an older veteran runner. And apparently at some point in time in the past, he was pretty good at getting hit by the king bots coming from the ceiling and would end up dying as a result. Hence the term being buzz thundered was born. Yeah, we have only had lefts, really. We had that one right at the junction, which just took us left. Then we got this up and left here. This is the only other option. Needs it very quickly there. Very nice. Looks like a pretty timid room with just those slow bubbles. The king bots, interestingly enough, on that side, they always spawn low below the platform. That's not true on the right side of the room, though. There's a key in this room. There's a door in this room, but easily ferried, or in this case, just gotten through with the any key. We got a left and right in this modified Jackamus room, aka modified statue head room. This is going to be a drop room. Will he take this? We've already seen the L7 drop destination room. So, and this is one of two drop rooms that is also a pass-through room. The other one being the Eon drop, which is a vanilla room. So this is going to lead back to a room that looks like this. We saw this configuration already, but that doesn't mean that we've been here. Getting trolled by the fireball coming up from the pit. Guma down for Nimanva as well. Yeah, unfortunately, just one enemy in that room. You're never going to get a jar out of that statue. If you've got generators and if that room is busy, then there will be a jar in that statue, but otherwise nothing. So Nimanva going to be headed over to the P2 vanilla spot to finish up P4. He's already gotten the item out of there very early on in the game, just a blue jar, nothing impressive. And so he won't be looking for the item. He's just got to find Karak, kill Karak, then go turn in turn in the child for Thunder and hit up GP. We've been seeing a lot of duplicate rooms here. This one different though. Because we don't see the double dots. Oh, wow. Oh, was that a loop? Was that actually the loop down and right? Okay. Yeah, sounds like it was a loop. I was looking at Nimanva, and I didn't see where that down and right led to. Looks like the down and right just simply led to the left. So we're going to head back this way. We've got another branch back here. We've also got this drop, if we want it. Just because we saw the drop room doesn't mean that this is where this is going to lead. The Great Palace layout tends to really mess with you psychologically in that manner, to where you see the drop destination first, and then you see a drop later, and you're thinking, I don't want to take that drop. I know it's going to lead. That's not necessarily true, though, because we still have this left here in this statue head room. There is a jar in that one raw head, the first raw head on the left of the elevator, and this is a pass-through room as well. If we find another dead end in this direction, that means drop is in play. I guess we have seen... No, we haven't. Never mind. False alarm. So this is the actual Jackamus / statue headroom. If you say to yourself, gosh, I wish those king bots would actually fall from the ceiling instead of appear right in front of me, You're not alone. Yeah, that one was reversed. That was a reverse version. The standard vanilla version has the block on the right-hand side. But we still have some options left. We've got this. We've got a left back at that Jackamus room, and then we've got this direction, as well as the drop still potentially in play. And another landing room we've got here. Might be checking. Oh, okay. We've got a little jump around. All right. Looks like we're back headed out of that landing room. I don't know if we did a check for the jar, but I was going to say, when you see an item in the landing room like that, there's no jar. And I don't think there's a jar in the reverse version anyway. So yeah, Trails in chat pointing out that the drop wasn't too far in. Might have been worth the gamble to just take the drop and see where it led. Because now you're off in this direction. You're not entirely sure if that drop is in play or not. Sometimes it's good to have that peace of mind. Opting not the shield in here. Taking 2 hits from the fire. And now we've got a bluebird that's loose in the left emoji here. So might see some shielding. The other, oh, we're almost dead. One more beam, one more touch, beam to the back of the head. Into P4 for Nimanva, also into the lava. I have no idea. The stream has been refreshed. I'll refresh my side. It's going to clear chat, though. I'm going to say I was probably not ahead of you because now I see we're in a different room. We're in a fun room with the tunnel. It's a community fun room here on Pickles' side. I think we just saw the Pastor Rebanak on... so we missed the Rebo Shark. I missed the Rebo Shark for the second time on Nim's side. Unfortunately, falling in the false floor there. Going to have to head back, break through, and try again. And this is a little punishing. These heads take a lot of damage off you. Probably about a heart container as well. The dots, horizontal dots, not so much. Horizontal dots are just a tickle. But the heads themselves hit like trucks. Even at Life 8, that's almost a heart container still. And here's our Thunderbird. And we're up an A because we're out of magic, I believe. So drop doesn't look like it's in play. I don't know if the drop would have been a shortcut to any other point in time. But at least he knows the route now. Nim's still looking for Karok. Precisely. Now he knows, and knowing is half the battle. Yeah, people don't want to hear my G.I. Joe in that manner, so... Easy room here for Pickles and Beer. Pretty timid. Going to have a King Bot drop underneath the platform here. Happy 2 hours indeed. It's been a fun seed. Fairy into the lava. Immediate death. Fairies cannot survive the lava. Up an A. Again, if you're watching out there in the audience, currently live, we do have Elendar and Animus, their matchup after this race here. We were talking about this earlier, but this is a seed that ended up being pretty punishing to our newer runners. And these, unfortunately, Z2R while I personally wouldn't consider this hot garbage at all, it was a pretty linear seed. And again, personally, I would have not skipped jump. I really like the jump spell, and seeing that it was P1 medicine right next to Mito jump, I would have probably just picked it up and turned it in almost immediately. And so I would have not gotten trolled by that Canadian hole room in P6. But unfortunately, the way it was routed, and our newer runners probably not super familiar with vanilla, we saw some out of order checks, I would say. But I think ultimately that led to this being a much longer seed just because of that. And this is something that newer runners can run into, and then they feel it's pretty punishing. Unfortunately, there's no real way to avoid these types of seeds. But it does come down to, as I always tell newer runners, that if you feel you need to grind somewhere, do the grinding, get those levels. It's boring, it's monotonous, but at the same point in time, would you rather just keep dying to certain things, or would you want to survive? You know, if you feel that you need those levels, go get those levels. Make the seed a little bit easier for you. Because if you're trying to do things at lower levels like better runners, it's just going to be nothing but frustration. So we are going to get a medicine turn in here for jump on Nim's side, which could potentially be a good thing. There are no jump blocks specifically in GP, so we won't see anything like that. Anywhere where jump might be used, upstab is probably also used with that. Fairy can get you out of areas where you can crack a little hole in the blocks. The real block is going to be the glove blocks and any key blocks. So if we still actually see that one double glove blocked room with the key door in the middle on Pickles' side, he'll be able to get through with the magic key. Nim will need a key in his pocket if he sees that, but I don't know if we'll see that. It's not a super. It's a pretty rare room. Fire does equal life, yes. But in reverse, it doesn't. When we cast life, we don't get fire. And I don't think Pickles and Beer knows that link is made together, because we've seen him casting life straight up. And he doesn't see the fireballs come out of his sword, because that sometimes happens with the randomizer. Again, I don't know if that's just a bug with certain spells or where the spells may be placed in the spell book specifically. I don't have an answer to that. That's something that's kind of eluded me. I haven't done a lot of research on that myself, but sometimes you don't get that reverse connection. And so he hasn't seen the fireballs come out of his weapon after casting life. And so I don't think he's been casting fire life. Animus saying that it would be nice if we could see some red focus, or just any focus, in the West. As I talk about how these seeds can be punishing for newer players, Animus is actually tightening the whatever, just tightening the screws on the newer players, making things more difficult. Oh, Nim has the magic. He did. That's right. He did go into Medicine Cave. That's right. Okay, so we see a death. This is our last life. We've got our magic back. We're getting Thunder readied up here. First attempt on Thunderbird on Pickles and Beer's side. Did make a comment on this as well. This in his first race. Does the crouching jump stabs going into Thunderbird like that looking pretty solid? Attack 7 also making this look pretty easy. Thunderbird down for Pickles and Beer. Another drop room. So this is the other pass-through room, the Eon drop. It's a vanilla GP room. Leaves the red jar behind, unfortunately. Probably the same thing I would do as well. A little tricky to get that with the flying heads and some of that bridge already broken up. We already saw this type of room from the other side, or at least in the other direction. Gets through it nicely, only one blue bird in there. Into a waffle or potentially emoji. It is an emoji. With that enemy configuration, as he walks in through this elevator here, there is going to be a jar, if he knows it. There's a 50-50 jar in the mouth of this emoji on the right side here. Not sure if it's worth the gamble. It's going to be up 1 from where he just killed, where he just broke out the block. I don't think he's going to get that orange bird to come up to him. Yeah, he's already underneath the little overhang at the edge of the emoji. Pretty timid pit room there. Gets the 3-block break on the first attempt. Very nice. Can make the jump at that point. Unfortunately, a little short there. Dead end. So does that mean drop and play? Exactly what Big Slamu didn't want to see. Into GP for Nim here. 127 minutes into the seed. It sounds like such a long time when you say that. And I guess it is. 2 hours and 7 minutes. GP entry for Nimanva. Big Slamu saying, never take the drop, and then always take the drop. Another 3-block break moving left in the pit here. I don't know if Nim grabbed Thunder. I unfortunately wasn't watching. Usually when a runner's in GP, that's where the main focus is at. Unless it's close. Oh, he's got to make it back through this bird, though. He's got no lives. Remember this. He has no lives, low on magic, less than 3 heart containers left, and we got a firebird. Every bit of fire takes off about a heart container. So he's hoping to get through that. Oh, gets a little backspin from the bird. That's going to be 1 heart container lower than when he entered the room. Back to this fun room. Bluebird to greet him. Might fall off the edge, though. Falls off the edge immediately. Through the tunnel. Easy tunnel, but he jumps. You can't jump there. You got to walk it. He might have been spooked by the blue bot who did a jump. I don't know what I would have done either. You can, I think, technically make that when you jump, but it makes it so much more difficult to make that jump if you actually jump, make it across that gap or into that little tunnel when you do the jump. Nimanva, unfortunately, going to show us that this is not jumpable, requires fairy, unless you had dash as well. He did a panic cast there. I think we saw 2 casts of fairy back to back to ensure that he wasn't going to land in the lava. So if Nim plays this absolutely solid, as he takes a death, but other than that, if he doesn't take any more deaths and he gets to Thunderbird with enough magic, takes Thunderbird down, he'll actually be close by. But he does have to get through Thunderbird. Attack 7, same as Pickles and Beer, showed us that it was pretty quick to get through there. Not sure how comfortable Nim is with a Thunderbird, though. And he can, because I was going to say falls in the hole, but he can keep heading left. He actually does take minimal damage there. He probably took less damage just from the fireball from the rope, which is just a tickle, versus the fire from the Firebird, which again we were seeing as 1 full heart container almost. Oh, that's right. This is the wrong direction into the L7. So, yeah, Pickles and Beer back ahead already because he's familiar with the direction he needs to take, whereas Nimanva was simply feeling this place off the first time. So he has to up an A, back to start. He knows it's going to be the opposite direction of that first branch. So I guess it was a down and left here in this reverse Jacobus room elevator on Pickles and Beer side. Yes, it was right into this emoji. Some of these are a little busy. Easily dispatch the Firebird there. He's got to fight a Bluebird over here. We'll see if he just lets him out. Let him out, jump him, or let him jump you, and move on with your day. Ooh, almost. If he takes a bot from the bot, ooh, I was going to say takes a bot from the bot, he might take a death there. Into another one of these fun rooms, community fun rooms, with the, was that a fire life? I think it was a straight life cast. With the jump, he can't be doing okay. Small hop, but gets knocked back into the lava there. That red bird makes things not fun. What you can do is just hang out on the opposite edge of the crumble bridge and just let the red bird come out as you keep dodging the dots from below. Ferries through it, though, with the shield spell, I believe. And so that's going to be about a half a heart container. Looks like maybe a third or so. I think he actually took a beam instead of bodying the bird. The beam takes off a lot less, as we talked about earlier. So getting the beam right as you can iframe through the body is going to be what you're looking to do. Death for Nimanva in the One Piece Chicken room, through Thunderbird's room for Pickles and Beer. I think this is unfortunately the loop that Pickles showed us earlier. It's going to be through this room, back into that same elevator room that Nim just walked out of. Oh, there is our Dark Link. Okay. All right, so it's 2 rooms between leaving this elevator room and coming back, as Nim has showed us. I think Pickles and Beer has plenty of lives left. I don't think he's going to have any problem taking Dark Link down here. Corner strats, the easiest, the simplest. Just don't get jumped on. One more hit, and there it is. GG's in chat for Pickles and Beer. Seeing if we can get an interview from Pickles and Beer. Nimanva is going to go ahead and forfeit. Also, no interview from Nim. Says he has to get out of this chair. I don't blame him. You get sucked into the chair while you're playing, and you conform to that. You need to stretch. Pickles and Beer not happy with the seed here. Says it might be an interview. We'll see if he can join us. I know we are looking to start the next race very soon here between Elendar and Animus United. So I don't really know how much time we do have here. Until then, we're just hanging out. Everyone can kind of stand up, stretch, prepare for the next race that we do have coming up. I will be here along with all of you still. We'll just keep cruising through. I believe Star is going to be joining us on comms as well. Yeah, this seed ran a little bit over the time limit here, but it was, again, one of those restrictive vanilla biomes early on that they had to do a little bit of traversal. They had to backtrack for both P4 and P5 on the west. We did see a bit of back and forth on the east as well, whereas we had the glove on P2, glove in P2 on the eastern side of our eastern continent, and then P6 being glove blocked and not jump blocked, but tricky to get across that 4-tile hole that both of our runners did get across without the jump spell. Impressive props to both of our runners there, especially in a tournament race like that. The jump spell being available, medicine out of P1, step on the raft back to Mito, would have been a quick and easy jump spell to grab and have in your spell book. before you walked into any of the other palaces on the east. But they did both handle that jump well. Both of them didn't spend too much time trying to get across that jump. So again, very impressive from both of our runners. We are still just hanging out, waiting to hear back from Pickles and Beer. But I guess to recap this one, we'll probably recap it with Pickles and Beer a little bit as well. Both of our runners went into 5, grabbed the boots. I believe we had a hint for the boots in 5. I guess to step back from that, both of our runners walked into Magic Container Cave, Vanilla Magic Container Cave. Red Dyer at the entrance. Both of them stepped out of there, and we saw the check in Raru, which was Fairy. And then we went through the Parappa Cave to check the palace in the Parappa Desert. That was P5. I saw one of our runners walk in there first, grab the boots out of there. I believe Nim went down to the grass tile. I believe it was Pickles and Beer that went in there first, grabbed the boots, then walked south to the grass tile. Grass tile was nothing, as far as I can remember. And then in Trophy Cave, we had the raft. And no, I thought we were joined by Pickles and Beer. We are not, though. Then from there, we had to go through Jump Cave and head south. We did a Saria check on Nim's side first, and he saw Death Mountain over there. He was a little behind Pickles and Beer at that point, though. And Pickles and Beer had already seen the Pillar P-Bag Cave that was open, and then he had checked out P4 in the swamp as well. All right, we are not going to get an interview from Pickles and Beer. So not to hold us up any longer, because you can just watch the race back if you want to see the recap of that. Watch it at 1.5 speed. Anyway, so come on.
Oh dear, that was the race to watch, I can tell you that much. GG's to both Pickles and Nimanva for surviving whatever that was. Definitely a valiant effort. Make sure you go follow them. All the links are all in the chat. Well done to Mariah and to Warlock for commentating and tracking that. Please make sure you give them a follow as well. But we are not done yet. We have our other match in the double bill coming up between Elendar and Animus United. So we're going to take a quick 10-minute break just to give everyone a chance to get up and stretch your legs, get your drinks, whatever you need to do. So feel free to do what needs to be done. We'll be back in about 10 minutes and we'll get that race started. So see you in a bit.